Hello everyone, and welcome to the Hospitality and Catering presentation for your Unit 2 studies in Year 11. This introduction was specially prepared for you to understand the requirements of the Unit 2 section in the Hospitality and Catering Award. I will now explain your Year 11 studies in a bit more detail. Unit 2. This unit is based on a given brief, the exam question, in which you will need to complete all the assessment criteria listed. This will form your coursework, along with a practical exam. You will then be expected to use your knowledge gained over the course mainly from the previous year while studying Unit 1. You will be assessed on your ability to plan, prepare, cook and serve a variety of dishes in a safe and hygienic manner suitable for different situations and customer needs and requirements. In Unit 2, you'll be expected to complete the controlled assessment and the practical exam. The controlled assessment should take you 6 hours and the exam 3, both of which should make up 60% of your final grade. They will both be internally assessed. After you are presented with the exam question, you will be asked to complete your controlled assessment answering all the areas listed with reference to your chosen dishes. AC 1.1 right through to AC 2.4. AC 1.1 will ask you to describe functions of nutrients in the human body. AC 1.2, compare nutritional needs of specific groups. AC 1.3, explain characteristics of unsatisfactory nutritional intake. AC 1.4, explain how cooking methods impact on nutritional value. AC 2.1, explain the factors to consider when proposing dishes for a menu. AC 2.2 is explain how dishes on a menu address environmental issues. AC 2.3, explain how menu dishes meet customer needs. And AC 2.4, plan production of dishes for a menu, this being your time plan which you will be prompted to complete with uttermost detail because that is what you'll be cooking your practical exam from. The AC 3.1 right through to 3.5 are listed here and they are for you to use to mark your assessment pack with, to make sure that you've included all the areas that the examiner will be expecting to see. They'll be expecting to see you using techniques in preparation of commodities, to assure quality of commodities to be used in food preparation, to use techniques in cooking of commodities, to complete all your dishes using presentation techniques, and to also use food safety practices. The Unit 2 tasks, they'll be divided into 3 different areas, each of which will take 3 hours. So the section 1 is for you to propose 4 nutritional dishes to meet the needs of the brief. You'll have access to class notes, you have access to ICT software, you'll have access to internet to research possible dishes. You will be supervised throughout, and this is an individual task. You cannot be given feedback on the work you produce until it has been marked. The second task is the planning of the production of 2 dishes that could be included on the menu. You will have 3 hours to complete this in. You'll have access to class notes, access to ICT software, but no access to the internet. You'd have been expected to have done all the research beforehand. You will be supervised throughout, and this is also an individual task. You cannot be given feedback on the work you produce until it has been marked. The final area of this Unit 2 task is you making sure that you've completed a detailed time plan to use for the cooking of the dishes. You will be supervised throughout. It is an individual task and you cannot be given feedback on the work you produce until it has been marked. Again, you'll have 3 hours to complete this in. Task 1 in a bit more detail. You'll have to consider what resources that you will be using, how you are going to present this work, how the cooking will affect the dishes, functions of nutrients in the body, And what kind of people would this kind of food suit as well? In Task 2, you are expected to show a full understanding of menu planning and how you are going to produce this. You need to plan for the production of the dishes on a menu. You will be depending on your time plan at this point for all instructions and guidance, so must make sure you include as much detail as possible. Doing this will also boost your levels dramatically. You need to make sure that whilst explaining the factors to consider when planning the menu, you've thought of the time of the year, seasonality, commodities available, skills of staff, equipment available. In AC 2.2, whilst describing how dishes on the menu address environmental issues, you are supposed to demonstrate your full thoughts about whether you're going to include conservation of energy and water, reduce, reuse, recycle, or sustainability. And in AC 2.3, whilst remembering how much you will need to meet your customer needs, you need to also include full thoughts about the nutritional value of the food, taste, smell, texture, and color. But most of all, you have to also consider how you're going to present this work. Am I going to use paragraphs? Will I use charts or a survey? All this will also be considered. The final task, which is the practical activity, is when you'll be using your time plan to cook your dishes. You'll be expected to produce a completed time plan, which must be in sequence. You must include timing. You must include mise en place, cooking, cooling, hot holding, completion and serving. You have to think about the presentation techniques and also include preparation and cooking of any commodities. You have to use as many skills as possible to boost your grades. Remember, your time plan should include enough detail for someone else to be able to make these dishes in exactly the same way that you will. Garnishing and serving techniques will also have to be included. You have to consider proportion, position, control, color, contrast, creativity, and neatness. Remember, you are the chef, you decide. Your work will then be photographed. You'll be expected to produce photographs of your work as evidence of its production in addition to your written work, which is your controlled assessment. Where complex skills are used, a selection of images will be photographed in stages and will be submitted. Good luck and all the very best with your studies. Please email any questions you may have at this stage. In the summer, I will expect you to practice some cooking over the holidays. I'll ask you to design a menu for a specific consumer. Think about this kind of consumer. It could be a vegetarian family. It could be for a care home. It could be for a graduation party, guest age perhaps 18 to 30. It could be a menu for a 6-year-old birthday party. I'll then expect you to write up a detailed time plan which you're going to use to prepare a 2-course meal for any of these specific consumers that you've chosen. In your detailed time plan, I will expect you to have included the mise en place, which is the preparation. You should make sure you cook this within 2.5 hours so then you're prepared and used to the exam in the summer. Include health and safety factors. Research and include advanced garnishing techniques to boost your grades. Photograph all finished work so we may review this in September. I do hope you found this introduction to the Unit 2 studies helpful. I look forward to seeing you all again in September. Happy holidays and remember to stay safe. Goodbye.